Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to let people join and I will say hi. Okay, hi. I'm unenabling the waiting room. I'm Lily. I'm the founder and CEO of Auggie, and Auggie is a community for parents to come together and connect over all different topics with experts like Amanda, but also Kaylee's been one of our experts. It's nice to now we get to sit in the passenger seat because Amanda's going to drive this conversation. Just a few housekeeping points. One, this conversation is being recorded, so know that. And two, feel free to use the chat as a Q&A if you have questions for Amanda, Kaylee, or myself. I'll be moderating that. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Amanda, who I had the pleasure of meeting and doing this exercise. So I'm so excited for us all to learn it.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to keep the chat open.
Yep.
So drop in the chat because this is going to be kind of a live workshop type of situation. Obviously, if you're listening to the recording, you can do all of these exercises in your own time. You can pause us and all of that, but drop in the chat where you're calling in from right now and what you're currently, what you just came from.
Hmm.
What were you doing before
Oh,
this?
right before this?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. What was it?
So I
Yes.
can start to see if there are people out there awake and live.
They're coming, I'm sure. Okay. So we met at this thing called the Grand Pursuit, which was like, oh, here we go, Seattle. You're near
Okay.
Kaylee.
Yeah, Pacific Northwest.
Okay, amazing. And I'll give some backstory here. I did this workshop last week, and Lily got to be a guinea pig in the workshop. That was the first time I did that workshop. I've since done it probably like 6 times.
Wow.
Um, because I have a book coming out tomorrow. So I'm in New York City for the pub date tomorrow. And I want to share just a little bit about my backstory and what led to the book and what led to all the things you're going to learn today, which is called character theory. So, at the height of my career, in my marketing career, I was leading marketing at the Knot. I had 3 kids under the age of 4, and I found myself filing for divorce.
Mm.
And I had this day where I was running to work, coming home, relieving the nanny. I had been pumping back and forth all day between meetings and the closet and all of that. And I got home, I got the 2 older ones in their cribs, and then I went to go rock my son and nurse him. And finally, everybody was like asleep, and I took out my phone and I wrote the words, "You can have it all," right? That famous phrase that we're all constantly like saying to ourselves. And I really was struggling with where the friction was coming from. And so if you've felt that friction before, this workshop is going to help you kind of detangle that. So this workshop's going to have 3 parts, and Kaylee and Lily are going to be kind of my live demonstrations of this. I feel like I'm about to do a magic show. Um, but the live demonstrations, if you're comfortable sharing, we're going to do this together. So there's 3 parts to this workshop. We're going to visualize, we're going to audit, and then we're going to rewrite. Okay. So
Okay.
before I go into anything about the book and character theory, I want to kind of start. If everybody kind of drop in a thumbs up if you're in a place that you can maybe take 5 minutes of just away from your crazy day, just to kind of recenter and do a visualization exercise. So for those that are dialed in, hopefully you can do this with us. Amazing. So here are the instructions. Let's say money was no object and you got to wake up and have the most perfect day. For the next 5 minutes, I want you to literally visualize that most perfect day. From the moment you wake up, you're going to literally open your eyes in your bed and you're going to look around and say, what do my sheets feel like? What's the weather outside the window? What do I smell? And you're going to go through the whole day. What do you do? Who do you see? What happens? And then all the way until your head hits the pillow at the end of the day. So I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. I will let you know when we're halfway through, so you know you can be about halfway through your day, and then with 1 minute left. Okay, so that's the instructions. If somebody comes in, I will let them know what we're doing so they're not thinking they joined a silent
Meditation.
meditation or something. Okay, I'm going to start the timer. Here we go. Okay, go ahead and start to wrap up your day. And if you have some paper in front of you, or if you have a notes app or whatever, just jot down a few things so you can remember what happened in your most perfect day. Just like a couple of reminders that will trigger you. So I'm going to share a quick story, and then I'm going to kick it over to Lily and Callie to share their perfect days. But I did this exercise when I was building a VC-backed company. I had raised a couple $1 million, and I was building a D2C business called House of Wise. And I was invited on this female founder retreat with a lot of big name like brands that you all probably had heard of. And we were invited to do this exercise. I After we did the exercise, we visualized, then we were asked to share. And of course, I'm like the type A straight A student. I was like, well, I'll go first. I'll go first. I'm going to share first. So I shared my most perfect day. Now, at the time, this is post COVID. I was still single after my divorce, and I was just really all in on building this company. It was everything. My entire identity had been wrapped up into this company. And I did this exercise, and I pictured my most perfect day. I woke up and I was in this home that I didn't have. Um, I had a partner who I couldn't see, but I had a partner. And I spent the day with friends, and I hosted a barbecue that night. And at that time, I had just moved to Miami and I didn't have community. I'd been so focused on jumping on a plane whenever I didn't have my kids that I didn't have a lot of friends down there. So I really saw a lot of things that I wanted in my life, but I wasn't making time for. Now, the irony is the woman who went after me, she started her day getting glam because she was on the Today Show, because she was on the cover of Forbes as the fastest growing beauty brand. And she spent the day kind of bopping between work, and then she had her nighttime with her family. And I literally said to myself, well, fuck, I did it wrong. Like I'm on a founder retreat. Like I was supposed to put founder as the main thing. But the irony is that's what the goal of the exercise is to illuminate some of the parts of ourselves that maybe aren't getting a lot of screen time in the movie of our life.
Mhm.
So, Lily, Kaylee, do one of you feel comfortable, or both of you, sharing a little bit about like a high level of your perfect day?
Sure. Kaylee, do you want to go? I'm happy to go.
Am I delayed or freezing
Oh,
on your guys' end?
your voice is here, but your video is a tad delayed.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna just restart my video for a
Okay, and
second.
I'll go
See if
in the
that helps.
meantime. Mine
Okay.
is a combination, Amanda, of yours and the person who went after you. Mine kind of is at a mom retreat that Auggie is hosting in the
Mm.
Caribbean somewhere, but I brought my husband and our sons along for the ride. So it combines work and what I love to do, which is to be on the beach with my kids and my husband. But there's a Caribbean breakfast buffet in there for sure. And like being able to show up for work, but also as a mom.
I love that. Any other
I,
details that jumped out at you? Anything that surprised you that you were like, huh, that showed up in
Oh.
my day?
I didn't do bedtime
Mm.
because I had spent a lot of quality time. So then in my day, like we were in the water and hanging out that like at bedtime. And I usually love bedtime, but in this day, uh in a weird way. It kind of felt like it's like picturing your ideal day, but it also feels like a dream. All of a sudden, like my in-laws appeared and like my
Yeah.
father-in-law put my son to bed, or both my sons at this point to bed. Um, so that surprised me because usually I love bedtime.
So that you could do what with
I
that?
went out to dinner with my husband and we were at a very specific hotel that we've been to before, so I could
Mm,
picture like exactly where we were gonna eat. Yeah.
I love, love. Okay, Kaylee, do you want to share?
Yes. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes. Ish.
Oh, I think she froze.
Yeah, she froze in a way that she doesn't want it. It's like a secret, her day.
That's
Yeah.
actually was so funny.
Okay, so
Cool.
that was my day. And then we ended. Oh, and one thing that I want to call out that I woke up feeling like actually rested, which I miss that feeling so much of waking up in the morning like rejuvenated,
Mm,
especially as a mom of a newborn.
right. Okay. Amazing. So for those doing this at home, just kind of jot down some things that happened, some things that surprised you, some things that maybe didn't show up that you were like,
Yeah,
huh, this thing that's really present in my life right now didn't show up. Okay, Kaylee's back.
let's see if we can hear it.
Okay. I might try to join on my phone, you guys. I'm so sorry. This
We
is
can
ridiculous.
hear your voice.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay. My face is frozen.
No, you're just like a little robotic.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, my day, I kind of forgot about the fact that you said like money wasn't an issue.
Mhm.
And I went really kind of about optimizing what my day-to-day really looks like in my
Mm,
day over I'm also a divorced single mom of 3, and
Oh,
it's one of those things of really wanting to basically like better habit stack and like better optimize my like traditional day to day where, ideally I'm waking up and doing like a really healthy morning hygiene routine before I even get my kids
mm,
up from school so that I start my day with more grounded, self-aware energy
mm,
versus like waking up a little bit later than I want going to get the kids up and then rushing them out of the house and just really had a more like present, more in control, more connected to self morning routine.
I love that for you.
yeah,
Me
I love
too.
that.
Recording in progress.
Oh, here you are.
Okay, I'm going to join on my phone. Does that
Okay.
better?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm muting
I'll
my.
spotlight you
There we
here.
go. Okay, hopefully that's better.
This is
Yes.
great.
Okay, yeah, so I went definitely down a path where I was optimizing my existing day where yes, the morning was more in tune. I got up, I went downstairs before waking up my kids. I got up much early, probably an hour before I normally do. I pulled like a divine feminine oracle card and I sipped a cup of tea and I just did a gratitude practice for 5 minutes of just trying to get more connected to myself. And then I carved out time to do a workout because I know that I feel so much better in the day when I get it done early. If I don't get
Mhm.
it done early, it's not happening. And then it's just a spiral. Then I woke up the kids and it wasn't a rushed morning. It was a present morning because we had done our nightly routine well the night before, set up the clothes that they were going to wear. It wasn't a rushed morning out there and kicking them out the door to go to the
Literally, yeah.
and then I was able to jump into feeling really good and grounded into my like day to day where I get to think more strategically. And I love what I do and being able to do that. And then I do work from home. So it was being able to get out and go meet a friend for lunch and like connect with someone in person outside of my house. And then the afternoon was, I really wanted, it was also creating like a really intentional evening routine with the kids and really pictured myself again having prepped for myself so then it was easy to do like a sheet pan meal and serve dinner at 4:30 instead of 7 and like get proactively ahead on things so that then the evening could be really intentional. There wasn't any screens present. It was connected time with the kids and like playing games and connecting as a family. And then at bedtime, when I was putting the kids to sleep, it's almost like in my reality, my daughter and I have mismatched moments of energy to connect, where I have so much more capacity in the mornings and she has so much to tell me in the evenings. And
Mhm.
so in this perfect day, because I had, facilitated this for myself, I had so much more capacity to connect in that moment with her. And it was a really great, easy, sweet bedtime routine moment where, if I'm truthful, last night she was like, Mom, I have so much to tell you about Dad's house at the weekend. And I was like, well, let's talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit earlier than we typically go to bed. So then it also gave me back some time to do my nightly nighttime hygiene, bedtime routine, where I was able to do my lymphatic drainage, my castor oil packs, and do some reading with red light, and actually not turn on my streaming shows in the evening in my bedroom. Like, I know I
Mhm.
shouldn't, but I typically do.
Mhm. Like while folding laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
for sure.
Okay. Okay, that's super helpful. So we'll dive into each of these in a second, but I want to go back to I shared the story of the origin of character theory that day that I was in New York City bouncing around. So when I came back and I wrote those words, you can have it all, and I said the friction was coming from the you. The thing I realized in that moment was, I mean, we've all heard like bring your whole self to work, find alignment. Well, here's the fact. The work version of me doesn't care about my kids as
Yeah.
much. Like the work version of me wants to work until 8 p.m., eat, eat at my desk, don't leave for walks. Like the work version of me has big goals that I'm chasing after. The mom version of me honestly doesn't give a fuck what's going on at work and just wants to like not be stressed for my kids, show up, not be like trying to throw stuff together, be very like involved in their school and know what's going on and what homework they have. That's the mom version of me. Those two versions of me many times are in like this WWE like raw is war match
Yeah.
inside of my soul. And so there's these other versions of me. There's the version of me that just wants to like find the part of me that just loves to get drunk and dance with my girlfriends and doesn't care about all the responsibility I have. There's the part of me that wants to just be alone and binge Netflix shows and not feel guilty about doing that, right? I thought that was really interesting, Callie, that you said, I know I shouldn't do that. It's like, no, there's actually a part of you in the movie of your life that does want to be lazy and deserves rest and all of that, right? So we have these different versions of ourselves that are fighting. So that led to me creating what I call character theory. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the 10 characters of character theory. And you're going to rate them from 1 to 10, how they're showing up for you now in your current life versus how they showed up for you in that perfect day. So
Okay.
one being they are not written into this movie right now. We left them in the trailer on the movie lot. 10 being holy moly, they were taking up a lot of screen time in my life. Okay?
So protagonist, star of the show.
Yes. Okay.
Got it.
So the first one, I'll drop them into the chat as we go. The
Cool.
CEO. The CEO cares about your career and wanting to pursue big goals. It's not necessarily that we all want to be a CEO specifically, but it's the version of you that is lit up by your career ambitions. So again, scale of 1 to 10, how is the CEO showing up in your life now versus your perfect day? Okay. Character number 2, the partner character. Now, if you're a single mom like Callie and I are and have been, this character might just be, where are you prioritizing companionship or the desire for companionship? That could be dating, that could just be fostering really close relationships. Okay. Now we have the soloist. The soloist cares about our personal growth and development, independent of any of the roles we play for other people.
Hmm.
So think about before you were, let's say, for people who are married and people who have kids, like before you play these roles that are in service of others, you probably spent a little bit more time allowing yourself to focus on what you want to do and what you like to do, or taking solo trips or solo explorations. You still have that version of you inside of you. Okay. This one's going to be prominent for this group specifically. The caregiver. Deep desire to take care of others and show up for them. Scale of 1 to 10, how is that showing up in your movie of your life now versus the perfect day? Next one. This will be interesting for people. The goddess. The goddess wants to be desired, to feel sexy, to just experience pleasure in a way that pleasure, and I said this when we did the workshop last week, it doesn't necessarily mean sex. It means, like, look, I had a sexual health and wellness company, and one of our taglines was partner is optional, pleasure is not. Like, how do you get back out of your head and into your body and feel your body? That's what this character is about. Okay, next one. This is the one that I'm excited for Callie to see. The lazy one. This is the version of us that wants to couch rot. They have no goals whatsoever. And the lazy one's purpose in the movie of our life is sensory rest, cognitive rest, emotional rest. Sometimes self-care routines can also cause us stress because we're like, I got to be doing more. I've got to be optimizing. I got to be reading. I got to be inching every part of my free time into personal development. Okay, that's soloist. But what about lazy one? The one that's not thinking about anything. Okay. So once you've got those rated, we're going to now go into number 7, the socialite. This one values connection with community and building community and doing life with people. So how is the socialite showing up now in your life versus your perfect day? Number 8 is the creative. And you can start to see how some of these characters boost others. Sometimes my CEO character actually does meet the needs of my creative character.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, could it be creativity at work?
Yes, but sometimes it starves the creative. And
Yeah.
it's just about awareness of, like, sometimes we've hit those seasons of our career where we're just like in Excel spreadsheets all day, every day in meetings, and you haven't done anything creative in a long time. And you're like, that character is starting to slowly fall out of the movie.
Got it.
Okay, number 9, call it the doctor. This is your inner caregiver, the inner health and wellness character. This is the one that is saying, hey, did you work out? We have big goals. We're trying to get our HRV up. We're trying to, lower our cortisol. Did you go to the doctor? Did you, it's all of the things that we're doing to take care of ourselves. And then the last one is the explorer. The explorer just craves novelty, newness, serendipity. It's the person inside of us that wants to just say, fuck it all, we're moving to Bali, right? Like we have that version of us.
I'm sending mine to hold myself accountable and
Okay.
not change them.
Okay. So this is what you just showed. Is that what's current in your life?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at your numbers, where do you see some gaps right now? So Callie and Lily, and also everybody listening, look at where your gaps are, which characters are showing up the most, and maybe which ones have been written off.
And is it okay? Like you add in the seasons of life, right? Like I have a newborn, so like I feel disgusting in my own body. So like the goddess, I mean, I feel powerful, but I feel
Yeah.
also gross.
Yeah. So we'll talk about like rewriting the script in a second. So this
Okay,
is just an awareness and an audit of where they are and how you feel like they're showing up.
got it.
Hmm.
So I see the gaps, definitely.
Yeah, my biggest gaps are in soloist, where in my perfect day it was higher than what it typically is on the day to day. And then goddess, in my perfect day, much higher. It was a 7. And my now it feels like a 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
um,
I didn't do this right.
the lazy one is flipped. In my perfect day, it's a 2, and in the now it's like a 7.
Okay.
Because I am fully aware that um my like one of my coping strategies is to, once the kids go to bed, watch a show and completely compartmentalize away from the stress of the day to day with the kids and running a business. And like there were times,
Disassociate.
yes, completely disassociation. And I do feel like, okay, at least I'm aware that it's my coping strategy. It's not healthy. I have awareness about it, but it's one of those things of, this is like just looking back at 2024, there was a moment where we weren't sure if Slumberkins was going to continue to exist in the world. We're a brand
Yeah.
of almost, we're about to turn 10 years old, which is a long time in brand building. And there was some financial circumstances behind the scenes that were kind of out of our control that really pushed us to our limits. And I remember sitting there, and at night I would put on like the most suspenseful, intense murder mysteries and thrillers and be like, at least my life isn't this intense. Like I'm just gonna like watch
Yeah.
something that's more stressful, because then it makes my life not look so crazy in comparison.
Uh,
And it was a coping skill or a coping strategy for me. But it's like, okay, then I got into that really like bad habit, like where then I need to
mm.
just do some like course correction, because it was definitely like a response to stress.
Yeah, that's interesting because if you, and in the book, you spend time with each character, getting to know each character more intimately. I'd be curious if you sat down and actually tried to talk to that lazy character inside of you. Were they actually feeling fulfilled in their, or did they, right?
Hmm.
Because when you just said you were trying to see other more stressful things, you're not getting emotional rest during that time because you're
Correct.
actually getting a lot of sensory overload and stress into your body. So that's actually not what the lazy character really wants, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But the behavior looks similar.
For sure. And that's
Mm.
why it's important to just like know what each character values and actually, so that when you say, okay, I just had a really long day and tonight is going to be for my lazy character. If you actually wanted sensory rest and an emotional rest, you'd probably turn on something that was more uplifting and rom-com, and like you'd have all devices away from you and you'd sit there and you'd watch it and you'd be happy and then you'd be
Hmm.
like, time for bed, right?
Hmm.
So it's just something to acknowledge. But
Yeah.
okay,
And Amanda, something that you said to me last week when we did this in person really resonated, and I think it was the soloist, but you were like, that means no, like the mental load is also turned off. Like you're not
yeah.
like watching TV and also ordering the Halloween costume, which like I feel productive when I do those things in my downtime, but then if I look back, like then that wasn't downtime.
No, your caregiver is trying to hijack your lazy time or your soloist time.
Yes.
And so it's just an awareness. And so let's maybe go into the third piece of this
Yes.
because this is about rewriting. So first and foremost, the biggest, whenever I'm in a coaching session and I do this audit with people, the biggest question or maybe statement I should say I hear is, well, I don't have enough time. Like I don't have enough time to actually do any of these characters really well. Let's dissect why we feel that way. Obviously, we're all stretched in a lot of directions. But I would say ambitious multi-hyphenate women suffer from a couple of traps. The first being gold star energy. We are trying to hit 100% of each of these characters, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm sure all of us have read Atomic Habits and we've heard the phrase if you only have 20% to give and you give 20%, then you gave 100%. So, what I want to start to bring back is this idea of an MVP, but I'm going to call it an MVD, the minimally viable day for a character. Now, this gives us a knob we can turn. So, I want you to pick two characters that you feel like aren't really present in the movie of your life right now, but you'd like them to have a little more screen time. So just pick two because we can't be everything to everyone every day very well. Okay. So Lily said the doctor and the lazy one. We've already kind of talked about what the ideal scenario is for these. For me, and I think it's important to maybe share some of these examples. So
Mm-hmm.
an ideal for me with my kids is by 3 p.m., I'm pretty much done with work and I go and I take them to their event, like sporting shit all around. And then I am present at home and I sit and I like actually am having dinner with them and I feel present and all the way through bedtime. How often that happens? Maybe once a week that I am able to fully like detach and be there. So now we're going to look at the other end of the spectrum. What is the minimally viable version of this? So that if we do only have 20% to give and we give 20%, then we gave 100%. So let's talk about the goddess because every time I do this, the goddess is usually the one down at the bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, ideal, right? Like I would be in the ability like to get out of my head into my body and show up and be ready and feel desired and like get into the headspace where I want that. Okay, that doesn't happen every night. What does the 20% version of that look like? Okay, I create space so that I can get into the headspace where I'm not pulling away when he kisses me. And I can sit there and be soft and like allow for that physical touch to happen. Because I think we sometimes as women are like, oh, I don't need it as much as him or them, like whoever you're with. But if you're not able to get out of your head and into your body, that's not coming from your goddess
Mm-hmm.
saying my storyline. Because let me tell you, as a woman who got divorced with 3 kids under the age of 4, all of a sudden my goddess was like, here I am,
Yeah. I'm
like
like, what's that
dating
like?
apps?
Yeah.
Like, what's this? Like, this is fun. And I was like, oh, I do still have a sex drive. This is amazing. Didn't know this. And I was like, oh, it's just because I really, really, one, wasn't meant to be with that person, but two, I was not creating the intentional separation that my goddess needs. My goddess doesn't like kids,
Mm,
doesn't like work. So I have to create intentionality around separating these characters. And so we're going to talk about that next, but let's go back to the MVD.
mm-hmm.
So the MVD of my goddess is literally being able to like kiss my partner and not pull away and not rush it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to pick your two. So Lily, for your doctor, what's a potential MVD for your doctor?
So it was funny because in when Kaylee was going and she brought up workout, when thinking about my ideal day, workout didn't even like come into my mind. And then I was like, okay, I need to be taking care of myself. And so the doctor version of me is taking care of my body because I know that I do feel better after I work out. But
Mm-hmm.
also, this is like I don't know if this counts, but like it's been on my to-do list to make my personal doctor appointments, like my skin check. And I don't know where this like falls into the list of like maybe this is also caretaker of myself, you tell me, but like
The doctor. Yeah.
Okay, so like I need a dentist appointment, like a skin check. I've been wearing my glasses that don't have my updated prescription for literally years. Meanwhile, my 4-year-old wears glasses and I would never let that happen to him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so my ideal day, my most I mean, what my MBD would be just like at least booking those appointments so I
Yeah.
knew that like I could just take them off of my list and getting in a workout.
Yeah. So that might look like, okay, 1 hour a day.
Is
And
like,
you deciding like maybe that hour is for a walk. Maybe that hour is just you're gonna sit and like look at the appointments.
yep.
And maybe that doesn't happen. It may only be 20 minutes a day, but you're at least finding windows of time where you switch into, hey, I'm in doctor mode right now. I'm taking care of me because, right, working moms, like no one else is taking care of us
Yeah,
and saying, like, oh,
exactly.
you should really go make that dentist appointment. It's like no one's going to do it for us, right?
Yeah.
So you have to let the character come into the movie so
And
that you
she
can
needs
be,
time.
yeah, and she needs time.
After we did this, and I just for anyone listening, like after we did this last week, I booked off and I would love an hour a day, but
Yeah.
I'm jumping in where
Yeah.
I booked off 2 hours a week for working out in the middle of the day. And I'm just going to show up for myself at those times. And if I'm sweaty for the rest of my day,
Yep.
like whatever.
Mhm.
Yep. I love it. Kaylee, what about you?
Yeah, what I find interesting in my functioning day to day now, I rated my goddess a 2 and my creative a 3, which I think are interesting that they're connected because typically when we talk about like feminine energy, there's definitely like a connection between creating and creativity and goddess energy. So I think like for me, I think like right now it's and my next lowest one was soloist. So like for me, I'm like,
Mhm.
whoa, I like really need to spend some time getting in tune like more with my own like self energy where that is connection to self and like really doing things that bring me back into my body and creating space for creativity because I work in a very creative role. I lead product development. I do a lot of like content for Slumberkins, but it just feels like a task,
It's
but
work. Yeah.
it's work. And it doesn't really feel like anytime I book a day that's supposed to be creative, like content day or anything like that, that I really need to actually honor those time blocks because and I catch myself doing it, I catch my teammates doing it.
Yep.
We always just book over it.
Yep.
And then I've just noticed if there's a meeting, like if we have our regular daily team meeting at the beginning of the day and then try to go into the creative day,
Mhm.
derails it. Like
Yeah.
I really have to hold the boundary for myself to really carve out that intentional time. That's just how it's functioning now, which is like a big problem.
And and when we zoom out, when we're in busy seasons, like you have a lot going on with work, you're prepping for some big things, like that the MVD might not be a D. It may be like minimally
20
viable might
minutes.
be like for me, I book one solo trip a year. It has to happen. And during that trip, I do a lot of introspection. I do a lot of just like sitting with myself, and no one needs me during those like 3 to 4 days. It's never like a full week. It's just like
And are girlfriends with you or
no,
you're alone?
no, I have to be alone, and that allows me to kind of tap in. And it's fun. Like, when was the last time you went and sat at a bar and like had a glass of wine and you were like, oh, like, and you're back connecting with yourself, not performing for anyone else. It's really powerful. Okay, so I know we only have 15 minutes left. So MVD, and then I want to leave you with the last one, which is the art of transition. So what we were just talking about, which Kaylee, you were saying it too. It's like this when we have to jump from one character directly into the other. If those two characters don't share a lot of the same energy or values, that's really difficult. So I want to give you the art of transition. So you can remember ART. It starts with awareness of the character you're in versus the character you want to move into. R is for a ritual or routine, choose your R, that you will kind of Pavlovian like symptom or sign to your brain that you're going to transition into that character.
Yeah.
And then you literally say to yourself, the T is to transition, and you say, I'm going to be in this character for the next X minutes, hours, whatever. I need to move that character's plot line forward. So it's just telling yourself, literally verbally, like I will literally, before I go into the gym, I usually go from mom mode to gym mode. And mom mode's usually trying to squeeze out every last drop of the like, okay, checking class dojo. Then I'm going to go to Amazon. Do I need to order a birthday present for the birthday party this weekend? Like, right? And if I don't transition, that will feed into my gym time and my
Mhm.
workout sucks. And I'm like, well, that was a waste of an hour because I was on my phone half the time. I didn't lift heavy. I wasn't paying attention. So I have a ritual. When I come home, I listen to the same
Say
playlist.
the song.
I listen, literally the first song is Alicia Keys, That Girl Is on Fire.
Love
Um, and it just like puts me in this headspace of like, yes, I am. I'm
it.
going to the gym, and I grab my little energy drink. I drink a Gorgie, and I think that's how you say it, Gorgie. And I literally will drink like a couple of sips, and it's literally Pavlovian. I set a timer, and I don't allow anything to pull me away from that because my inner doctor is like, on needs to get my goals hit.
On screen.
So think about characters you try to switch between that maybe have a lot of friction or are harder. We talked about going from mom mode to goddess.
Yeah, I literally just wrote
Yeah,
that.
caregiver to goddess. That is such a hard one because those are such
Well, because I'm
polar
like, don't
opposites.
touch me.
Yeah. And so what I do, so just to share, I have a whole ritual. If we're going on a date night, then he's not allowed to get ready in the bathroom with me.
Mm.
I need the separation in the space. He has to go get the babysitter ready because he's ready before me. Like he goes and
Mhm.
gets the babysitter ready. I come out, bye, out the door, quick goodbye, so that I can just stay in this other
Fresh.
mindset.
Yeah.
And then if we're home, if it's a night that like goddess needs to show up, I've got to not put the kids to bed.
Mhm.
I've got to go retire to the bedroom. I'll go do a quick tuck in, and then he'll deal with I need a glass of water, like I can't find my lovey, like whatever it is. I go take a bath and I listen to a playlist and I allow myself to get out of those other characters.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's just something to be aware of. Does that spark anything for either of you two?
Yeah, I just need to create that boundary, or it's like I need to book the babysitter. Just do it and then, like, plan the night. But I'm not even at that point yet to be able to set the ritual up. I love the ritual idea. And I know, again, seasons of life, right? Like, I have a
You are in a season of life.
exactly, but it just feels I feel guilty about it, and then also I feel like I want that again.
Yeah, and there's a
Mhm.
part of you that does, right? It's
Exactly.
just but you are in a very, like, I write about the canon events part of life.
Yeah,
Falling in love, you lose your friends for a
of
bit,
course.
right? Like, having a baby, you lose your inner doctor, you lose your
Yeah,
goddess, like, those are normal, but it's just an awareness of, "Okay, my goddess is at, like, a 1, maybe can I get her to a 5%?"
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
So,
Alright, Kaylee, you go.
yeah.
Yeah, well, when we're talking about it, what came to mind the most was also like I love that it sounds like you have such an amazing supportive partner in all of this, Amanda, that, like sounds like he really plays his role and like does the things that allow you to
Yeah.
be able to do that. And that's such an important key to this. I feel like for me, I got divorced because there was like the moment I started to communicate my needs or wants or set boundaries,
Yep.
everything started to unravel because like not to throw him under the bus, there was definitely dynamics there, but like the world didn't revolve around his needs and routines
Yep.
anymore. And so I
Same.
just have to acknowledge that like not everybody has a supportive
Yeah.
partner. Like I ended up getting I ended up getting more connected into my goddess energy like after the divorce and having like when like I didn't have the kids. Like,
Yes.
like it really is that space of like giving you a lot of time, solo time, that's needed, and then a supportive partner to be able to facilitate that. Because if there's, or at least like balance it.
Yeah. I think so, Kaylee, you're touching on something that I think took me going through a divorce, rediscovering my goddess, realizing it was happening more so when I didn't have the kids and I had this full separation. Then now I've been in a relationship for a few years now, getting remarried again next year, and realizing that I can still bring some of these concepts and tools back into this relationship that I learned during like my single mom years, because it was
Mhm.
like, yeah, I was such a more flirtatious, like goddess energy version of myself when I didn't see my kids that day and I could be
Mhm.
alone more. And so it's just an awareness of, for me, I may not get to do that every night, but how do I build that into the operating rhythm so I don't end up in this situation where I had no solo time, I had no, and then I resent my partner for wanting touch. And it's like, oh, I've got to build this in. I have to build the space because the goddess character doesn't like kids, can't be super stressed out, needs more alone time and to feel like connected to yourself.
Yep.
So I think it's a wonderful thing that you do get to kind of discover that through
Mhm.
divorce that we can kind of share.
And Kaylee, Amanda gave a great example, and Amanda, I want you to share it in a second, but I'm curious, as a mom of three who works from home, what the transition is like for you at the end of the day, from work into kids. Because I also work from home, and I said this, I don't know, Amanda, if I said this to you, but I definitely said it to my table at the retreat. Like, I go from a VC pass or like a bad email from a brick, like something, right? And I open my door and I'm like, hi, like mama's here, and I have no time. And Amanda shared a tip, but I'm just curious, and I'm sure you will share it again. But Kaylee, what the end of the day like is for you?
Yeah, I think there's definitely blurred lines there. So I would say most often the thing that transitions me the most is like the children's activities that they need to be at, where I actually have to
Mhm.
physically like get
Yeah.
them somewhere. That's kind of a forcing function of that. But if I'm totally honest, sometimes work, because an activity is earlier than the end of the workday at 5 p.m., I'm in the car a lot of the time still like facilitating calls, like
Yep.
en route to activities, and that's definitely not ideal. But it's also, I also maybe can frame it as like, wow, I'm really lucky that I work a job that I control my calendar and I can be flexible and take a call in the car if I need to.
Yeah.
I'm not like locked into being on campus somewhere.
Yep.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, boundaries are also important to practice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the car is a very important, like literally a commute mechanism, right? So we can have these kind of transitions like, okay, I am now driving to go get my kids. I'm leaving the house, I'm leaving my laptop to go get them. And for me, when I was working from home during COVID, the story that Lily's talking about is I realized that I couldn't come out of the bedroom and go straight into mom mode. So I would end the day 30 minutes earlier than I was originally, and I would go take a commute bath so that I could go become a mommy. And I would teach my kids that. I literally would turn on Bluey and I would put an Alexa timer on and I would say, okay, guys, I'm going to go become a mommy. And they got it. They understood, like, okay, when the timer goes off, you can come and get me. I'll be ready for you. And little kids, like, even though they were very little, they still understood that. And they were watching Bluey. And I needed that time so that when I came out of that bathroom, that shitty conversation I had with a VC isn't still like front and center. And
Like
I can,
eating away at you.
yeah, because
Yeah.
when I spend time getting to know my mom, my caregiver character, she's actually really silly and wants to like be silly and make her kids laugh and have fun with them. that's so different than my CEO character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I needed space so I could feel silly again. So I would watch like really dumb TikToks and like just try to get back into that silly mindset. So I think,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I know we have 4 minutes
Yeah.
left. So I would say that the main takeaways, if any of this resonates, like the whole book, character theory is kind of the main arc of the whole book. And so you can meet these characters, you can audit, and you can also learn the seasonality of life and that it's okay to, oh, thank
Mhm.
you.
So good.
And it's okay to prioritize one character for a while. Ambition is not a dirty word, but just remember that all of your characters have goals and things that they are ambitious about. And so it's just about the intentional imbalance of life. And if you only have a few minutes to give that character, how can you actually give that character some screen time? So that's it from me.
It was amazing, Amanda. And coming out of hearing you do this last week, I went into the weekend and my phone had died. And normally I would charge it, but I was with my son. He wanted to go play soccer. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bring my phone. I'm not even going to charge it. And as you were talking and hearing this now for the second time, I was like, so many I don't even know what the right way to say it. Like so many reasons why these characters can't show up for me is my phone. And
Mm,
I need to just disconnect from the phone. And we had such a nice time, the two of us. And I'm sure it filled his cup a little bit more because I was like 100% or 20, whatever we want to use
yeah.
the number, but like there for him. So thank you for making us better.
Yeah, this is amazing. I can't wait to get the book.
Yeah.
It's like just bringing awareness to these different parts that live within all of us is, I think, key. I think so many of us get lost, especially in the season of motherhood, in the caregiver role. It's like really the only roles that I would have been able to really identify are like the CEO and caregiver. You
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so we'll send everyone your way, Amanda, both the people listening live and at home who will listen to the recording, as well as Slumberkins Callie. So buy the book. It's awesome. And Amanda and Callie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having
Great.
me.
Talk
Appreciate
soon.
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Hi.